name is Smith. I'm the Chief Fire Officer of Warwickshire Fire and Rescue Service, and I'm joined here today, this afternoon, by Lee Howell, who is the President of the Chief Fire Officers Association. I should begin by saying I'm not surprised that our three incident commanders have been found not guilty today. I expected nothing less. It's crystal clear that these cases should never have been brought today. I and my colleagues in Warwickshire Fire and Rescue Service feel a sense of relief that the ordeal is over for the three defendants, but I also feel a sense of sorrow and remembrance for the four firefighters, the brave firefighters who died in Atherstone-on-Start in 2007. It's because we are so seriously concerned about this case that the Warwickshire Fire and Rescue Service and the Chief Fire Officers Association will be writing to the Home Secretary and the Justice Secretary to seek a formal investigation into how and why a prosecution was allowed to proceed and why three innocent men have been exposed to the trauma of the last 4 years. Lee Howell will have more to say about our demand for an investigation in a moment. I'm seriously concerned, and the public should be seriously concerned, that today, up and down the country, firefighters will be asking themselves, why on earth would I ever want to be an incident commander and face an unjustified legal attack in the way these three men have. The police investigation into the fire took a wrong turn early on. The police treated decent firefighters like common criminals. Our three incident commanders were locked up in a cell overnight and even had their shoelaces taken away from them. It is almost 5 years and £5 million of public money to construct a case against these three men, and when it was presented in court, it simply fell apart. Having listened to the evidence in court over the past few weeks, I am shocked that the prosecution could put so much reliance on the evidence of a controversial expert witness. Whenever a firefighter dies, it is right and proper there should be an investigation. But elsewhere, such investigations have been completed rapidly so that lessons can be learned and the real culprit apprehended. In this case, the real culprit remains at large. An independent report into the fire concluded that it was arson. The police clearly thought it was arson because in 2009 they arrested several people on suspicion of arson. But the arson remains at large today. We also need to look at whether the laws applying to building works and building managers are working properly. The court heard that planned fire safety measures were missing in the building. Most importantly of these were fire escapes that should have been installed on the first floor of the factory. This would have satisfied building regulations and which could have made all the difference to the firefighters that have lost their lives. But the Health and Safety Executive decided to take no action against the owner of the warehouse and consistently refused to give Warwickshire Fire Service a satisfactory explanation for its decision. There seems to be huge gaps in our laws which leave firefighters unprotected. Legal loopholes mean that owners can construct a building and start using the building even before it's finished, and no one has to tell the fire brigade. And it seems that building managers have no duty to protect firefighters who come actually to save their buildings. I think it's essential that we take a long, hard look at why, in this case, firefighter safety took second place to the needs of the police investigation. The Atherstone-on-Start fire happened in November 2007. There were two independent reports into its cause. One carried out by investigators from other fire and rescue services, and one commissioned by the Warwickshire Fire and Rescue Service. The police suppressed the first and seized the second, even before we could read it. Both of these reports contained safety critical information of vital importance to the safety of firefighters up and down this country. Neither of these reports were released to the fire service until May 2011, an incredible 3.5 years after the fire. I'm absolutely outraged that the secrecy surrounding these reports meant that firefighters remained at risk for so long. Something went badly wrong with this case, so I want to know, why was it felt in the public's interests to prosecute 3 frontline firefighters and nobody else? Why did the police find it necessary to arrest and jail 3 innocent men? What has been done to catch the arsonist who started the fire in Atherstone-on-Stour and remains at large? Why was safety critical information suppressed for so long? Why did the prosecution place so much reliance on the evidence of one controversial expert witness? Why did the Health and Safety Executive take no action against the owners of the building? What kind of legal system is it where a building can be put into use with the fire escapes missing and yet no one is held responsible? I want answers to all these critical questions for the 3 innocent men, for fire brigades across the country, and I want answers for the families of those who died. They deserve to know the truth of what happened on that tragic night in November 2007. Can I now hand over to Lee Howe?
Thank you, Graham. Ladies and gentlemen, the decision by the jury today is a victory for common sense, but it is not a cause for celebration. We need to remember that Ashley, Darren, Ian and John died serving the public. Each year the Fire and Rescue Service deals with over 500,000 incidents, and each and every day firefighters and officers make risk-critical decisions in order to protect the public. Sometimes things go terribly wrong, as they did at Atherstone, and we need to learn lessons from these incidents. However, CFR is concerned that prosecuting officers for manslaughter in this way may make firefighters overly risk-averse. For this reason, Warwickshire Fire and Rescue Service and the Chief Fire Officers Association will be writing to the Home Secretary and the Justice Secretary to seek investigation into how and why this prosecution was allowed to proceed. We need firefighters to be risk-aware, not risk-averse, and I don't believe society wants fire officers to be inflexible and ultra-cautious. I think people do want fire officers to use their initiative, their experience and their common sense when dealing with fires such as the one at Atherstone, as well as ensuring firefighter safety at the same time. We also seek to understand why the real culprits of the fire, according to the cause of the fire investigation, the person or persons who intentionally set light to the fire in the first place, have not been caught. One death of a firefighter is one too many. However, it is a reality that firefighters and officers have to work in very dangerous and dynamic operational environments. The outcomes of this investigation now need to be shared with fire and rescue services across the country, because it is their officers who, every day, are required to manage the potential conflict between public expectation and firefighter safety. We want to ensure the events at Atherstone-on-Stour never happen again. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. That concludes our formal statements, but I would like to